So today is the first kind of session where you will see an end-to-end application, web application that works on the server side and you access it from the browser. So it will be maybe this week and next week we will be doing this. So first, before we get started, is that you will have to first understand a very important concept of how the web really works. So to do so, what I want to do is I will go through some simple examples as an end user and explain how the web works and how the interaction takes place between the client and the server. And then we will step in as developers and build that experience. So to do so, I'm going to use Firefox just for this demonstration. Okay. So what I will do, history, I will just clear. Okay. So what I have here, Firefox, and I have here a utility called HTTP Fox. It captures the communication between the client and the server. You can do this in Chrome as well, but this utility is much more clearer for explaining the concept. So basically now this utility will watch what's going on between the client and the server. The client being the browser and the server is a little Node.js application running on my machine. So I have a server running on this local machine and at this port 9080, and I'm trying to access that application through the browser. So first, as you can see, the first thing I do, I go to the address bar and type in the URL or the address. So maybe before I explain this, let us first define what is the web. Before we start programming and building web applications, we have to understand what is the web first. So what is the web? You spend so much time with it and on it. We spend more time with the web than any other things. So what is it?
Collection of pages.
Sorry?
Collection of pages.
Collection of pages. Is it only pages? Only pages you have? You don't watch videos? You don't see images? Audio. Also, when you type in a URL, maybe some program will run on the server, generate some results, and then give you back those results. So what is a name for all of these? One name that will put all of these under one category or one generic name.
Data.
Data. This is not really data. Media. Ah, yes, not bad. So basically, what people have agreed to name all these things, we name them resources. A resource could be a page, an image, a video, the result of a program. It could be anything. And you see here, a resource has many formats. It can be any of these formats. So the web is a set of interconnected resources. That from one resource, you can jump to another resource and so on. So an interconnected set of resources. Each resource basically has what? A format, whether it's text, whether it's HTML page, whether video, audio, there's some kind of format. Second thing is, every resource on the web, what does it have? How do we get to it? What do we need? A URL, thank you very much. An address, a unique address, which is known as the unique resource locator, a URL. Okay? Now, these resources, there are two major types. One is called static. Another type is Dynamic. What is static resource?
So that doesn't change.
That doesn't change with time. So you go to it, like let's say Qatar University logo. Is it a static resource or a dynamic resource? It is static. Maybe, I don't know how many years, 20 years, somebody decided that logo, they designed it, they put it there, and that's it. Will not change for a long time to come. You go there, always the same. Now, something Al Jazeera news page. Is it static? Very, very different. Each time you go there, it's different. So dynamic means there is some program running in the background, in the server side, not on the background, on the server side, and that program generates that content. So we are more interested into this, how we build web applications that will be able to generate dynamic content or dynamic resources that come from maybe some database or some files or some results of some computation. Yes? So this is enough for now. This is enough definition. This definition will grow as we move forward. But now, in one sentence, what is the web? A global interconnected set of resources that have a particular format. Each resource has a unique URL. And then this resource could be either static or dynamic. Yes? Is clear? Now, how do we access the resources on the web? What do we have? Although this guy is not helping me.
The address?
HTTP. You see this, we put HTTP : / and then the address. What is this HTTP? Sorry?
It's a protocol.
It's a protocol. Okay. What is a protocol? Sorry? Set of rules that
define how can you communicate with.
Okay, excellent. Yes, it's a set of rules that govern communication between entities. So, in our human life, we have some kind of set of rules and etiquettes for communication. So, for example, when you meet somebody, you don't just tell them, "Where is my 20 real you're supposed to give me back?" Or "Where is my homework?" Where is the homework? You didn't send it. So what do you do first? You greet them. You will say "Salam alaikum." They will get back to you and say "Good morning."
Yes.
No? Yes?
No, I didn't say no.
They will. You see, there are some rules, although it's not kind of written, but that's how we grow up learning these rules. So there are some rules and etiquettes and rules of communication. Same thing here. For the client and the server to communicate, they need to agree on certain rules. Okay? So people get together like us. They sit maybe far back, maybe I'm not sure, 30 years ago. They sit down and they came up with a set of simple rules to allow the web client, which is the browser in our case, and the server to communicate. And this set of rules, they put them together and they call them a protocol. And in this context, what is the protocol we use? HTTP protocol. Very, very simple protocol that has to change the world. Okay? So if you want to change the world, keep it very simple. Don't complicate it, otherwise you will not be able to do much. So let's learn this HTTP protocol in 5 minutes. So in here, when I ask for some resource from the server, I type in the URL. Okay? So what the browser does, have a look at this. The browser generated a request. Very simple text request. In here it is shown as a table, but it's really is just a text. In this text, what do we have? We have this keyword get. So if you want to ask the server, please send me something, what do you say? Get. Don't say give me, send me. Don't use any of those verbs. The server will not understand what you're talking about. That's what the protocol means. We agree on those verbs and those actions. If we don't agree, there is no way the server will understand what you are talking about. Yes? So how do we request a resource from a server?
Using it.
Using get, followed by the protocol version. There is version 1.1. You know, protocols, they do evolve. And then the host. This is the server name and address. Sorry, the server name and a port. You know, a server can have many services or many applications running, each one listening on a particular port. Okay? And here, what else? Here, because, okay, let me, yes, basically here is a resource. Here I'm asking for the slash. Can you see here slash? This is the root. I could ask for other things. Any other page I could ask for it. It will come back, it will come after the get. So forget about this, we will have a look at it later on. Very simple protocol. If you want to get something from the server, how do you do so? You send a simple text message that has the keyword get followed by the URL, which URL you want to get. Because the server has so many resources, you need to tell it which one you want. Yes? And then what the server replies? Says, yes, I understood you, and here is what you asked for, and it says to you 200 OK. Okay, how does it say everything is fine? It sends you a message that says 200 OK. It doesn't say everything is fine, here is what you asked for, enjoy. It doesn't say any of that. How does it confirm you get what you asked for? 200 OK. All right? Don't worry about this. I will explain later. Yes, okay. So, is clear? This is the first verb that really changed the world. That's what you do every day when you are doing the work. All what you do, get followed by the URL, and then once you get, the server will try to serve you and give you what you asked for. And if everything went okay, you get what you asked for, and you get a code 200 OK. Now, if I ask for something nonsense, whatever, give me something. Okay? Yes, it will do it. Have a look. It sends, can you see here? It sends a GET request with this URL. And the poor server will say to you, 200 OK? 404 not found. I'm sure you have seen this code, 404. Yes? Yes? So this is the protocol. This is what the protocol says. It says, it doesn't say, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't say I don't have what you requested. It doesn't say all of this stuff. Otherwise, it will not be a protocol. If every server does it its own way, you cannot build a generic browser. You cannot build a generic server. They have to follow a protocol. As a web developer, you must understand the HTTP protocol. Otherwise, you will not be able to develop productively. Okay, very simple. The good news, it is very, very simple. Get followed by URL, and then the server side will respond with the content plus some status code. Is clear? Okay, so let me go back. You know, occasionally we don't always only get stuff. We also occasionally send stuff back to the server side. So, for example, let me clear this.
So like when I enter to the Facebook, I give the username and password?
Yes. Yep. Or when you fill up a form to register or, okay. So here is a form, a little form. It asks me who you are and what you want. And then I'll do submit. Have a look at this. I'll submit. This time the verb that was used to submit is post. And to which URL? Slash, the root of the server, the root URL. Now, if you go to the post data, you will see this is what the server has, the client has posted. So this is what I have entered on the previous page. I had name, and I had a requested page. So what the server does, what the client does, it sends a post request to a certain URL, and then it takes the data that you have entered, it puts it as name equal value, ampersand, name equal value. It's a name equal value as one string, and it sends it to the server. Very simple protocol. So post, it uses the post verb followed by the URL. followed by empty line, and followed by the values that you are putting. How does it format the values? Name equal value, name equal value. Yes? Is clear? So these are the major two verbs that we have on the web, on HTTP. There are other verbs, we discover them as we go. So we do, in these early sessions, we will take the minimum, and then as we build more understanding, we go forward, we go more, and we discover more details. But for now, we just limit ourselves to these two verbs. And in fact, these two verbs is 95% of the web. Get to receive a resource, and post to send some data to the server. Is clear? Now, on the server side, as a developer, what do you think we should do to respond to those requests? As developer, what is on the server side, what is really a service? Sorry, what is a server? What is a web server? You have heard this term, a web server.
The database.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily a database. Yeah, in reality, there is always some kind of database.
Response something
It's
to the
web
client.
server.
Sorry?
Response something to the client.
Very good. Respond something to the client.
It holds
Yes.
resources.
Sorry?
It holds resources.
It manages resources, yes.
It processes the request from the web browser.
Which requests?
Whichever request it gets.
Which requests? I want to be a little bit more precise.
HTTP.
It processes HTTP requests. So web server must understand HTTP, otherwise it will be of no use. So what a web server does, of course it listens on some ports. You have seen this concept of ports in another course, isn't it? Maybe networking or maybe operating system. So it's just a mechanism for an application to receive data from remotely through the network. Okay? So the web server will be listening on which port in our case? 9080. Yes? And then it says, what do you want me to do? How does it know what the user wants as requested? From? Yes, you are close. From the protocol, but more precise. From where? From the verb of the request. If it's a GET request, what does the server know? What does the server understand? If it's a GET request, it has to either read some content from the file system or do some computation and generate some results and give them back to the requester. Yes? If it is a post request, it kind of knows that there is some data coming in. It will read it as an input, use it to do some computation. Let's say, give me the transcript of student 1, 2, 3, 4. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 as an input and generate the transcript for that student and send it back. Yes? So on the server side, it's very, very simple programming model. For each HTTP verb and for each URL, we map a verb and a URL to a function call. That's what server-side programming is. So on the server side, the server will receive requests, yes? And these requests could be either GET or POST. And then the server, to respond to them, it will run some function. And then it will generate some content and send it back to the requester. It's kind of clear? It will become clearer as we move forward, but this is just the basic. So the communication between the client, being in our case the browser, and the server, being the web server, is managed or governed or controlled by the HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol, very simple protocol. All it does, you specify which verb you want to use, the URL you want to access. If it's a GET, it's very simple. GET followed by the URL. The server will respond by giving you some resource and some status code, whether everything went okay or not. Now, on sometimes you want to send some data to the server, you use a POST request, and basically you do post followed by the URL, and the data that you want to send, you put it in the body of the request with a name equal value, ampersand name equal value, and so on. Is clear? Now let's see. Thank you. This is this utility. I will not use Firefox only for this reason, just to show you this. Now I'll switch to. We will be using Chrome because Chrome has the latest JavaScript, the latest implementation of JavaScript. As I said, we will try to use the latest stuff. Some browsers might not be up to date, but Chrome in particular is always catching up with the new stuff. Of course, by the time you start using this in production or real applications, it will be all over, widely used. But for now, we are a bit ahead, which is okay for learning, for in a learning context. Okay, so let me show you now what's going on. So there's a lot of stuff here, but maybe okay. I think it's simple. I'll create another. Okay, a little JavaScript file here. I will call it, what I will call it? Okay, my app. Okay, it is. I started from scratch just to explain the concept as we move forward. So to build, now we want to use Node.js. Remember Node.js? You have used so far. What do we use it for so far? What you used it for?
Promises, like
No, in general.
to compile to run the code.
To run? Which code?
JavaScript.
The JavaScript. So it is a runtime, or basically a runtime to run your JavaScript code. So, and of course it comes with basic capabilities, but you can add more packages to make it richer and to do things in a much easier way. So Node.js, you can use it to build a web application from the server side, to build a web server. We can use Node.js to build a web server in a very simple way, and also the performance is very, very good. So to do so, of course, we can start from scratch and use the basic API and the basic capabilities of Node to do this. We can do this. It will take us a bit of longer time and much more effort. But people before us have attempted to do so. And they made a very nice libraries to help us do this. One of them is Express. So it is an application that allows us to I have so many things open. Okay, Node Express. Just to show you how, all right, here it's NPM, here it is. This is where you, remember the NPM JS, NPM, which is, this is a repository that has thousands of packages where you can get packages to help you build applications much faster. So one of the very, very popular packages is Express. Okay, let me prove to you that it's very popular. All right, where is it? Here, how many downloads just for today? Just for today. You will add coupling when you start doing this your lab and techniques. Last week, 2 million. Last month, 10 million. Okay. Very, very popular. Okay. So let us. Last month means this is just for this month, which is the March. If you stay until the end, it's billions of downloads per month. So it's very, very popular. That's what I want to say. So for you to use it, all you do, remember how to download the packages? You just do npm install Express, and you do -save to save it in this little file called package.json to tell you to basically create dependencies. So when I post this to GitHub, I will not post the Express. It's not mine, and it will make my solution too big. Instead, I only post this little file with my solution, with my source code. So when you download this, the first thing you do before you can run my code is you do npm install. Oh, sorry. All you do, you come here and say npm install. Just like this, npm install. What this npm install will do, we'll go through these dependencies and it will download them and put them in this special folder called node_modules. There are many modules. In fact, you will be writing less code than what others have wrote, much less. So you'll be relying on a lot of libraries that we will discover as we move forward. So one of them is, definitely we'll use is Express. So this is how you use it, -save, and this will download it and add an entry in the dependencies. I will not do this because I already have it. So once you download it, it's basically time to start using it. So to use it, let me see. Okay, so I will go to this My App. All I do, I will let express equals require. Remember require? This is to importing this particular library. All right. So I will use this to create an object out of it. So I will say let app equal new equal express. Okay. And then all I do is I will say app.listen and I will give it a port. Remember, a server listens at a particular port, isn't it? It listens at a particular port. So let's put here, let's say 7,000. So that's it. If I hopefully just take this one, let me try it, run. You see here it's blocking and it's waiting for some, it's not being able to do anything, it's just listening. So in here, just to show you, I can just put, once it starts listening, I can say console.log list on port. Sorry for this. Port 7000. Okay. Now, of course, it will not do much. If I go there, let's say if I go here and say localhost and the port 7000, it cannot handle anything. Yes, it is listening, but it cannot. It's not able to handle the GET request. We have to define what to do when I get a GET request to this URL slash. Can you see there? GET slash. So all I do, I'll start saying to the server, teaching the server what to do, how to handle the requests. So I will say app.get. If somebody asks you for .get and they came to you, they ask you in this URL slash. So this is what I want you to do. First of all, Node.js, I will explain this shortly. Sorry, Express will give this function, will give your function, it will give it a request and a response object. This request and response are built-in object. It gets passed automatically to your function that will handle the requests. So let me explain this one more thing. So the client is sending HTTP requests. These requests could be either a GET request or a POST request. Yes? So, and these requests are coming to certain URL. So what this function is doing is doing a mapping between a URL and a function call. So when somebody comes to Using which verb? Get. Coming to which URL, requesting which URL? The root, slash. Then what should I do? For me to do anything useful, I need the request to read anything coming with the request, and I need a response to respond back. So these two objects are built in and provided by Express to make my life much easier. So all I do here, I will say here respond dot, I think send. Can you try send? Let me try this. Response. Okay. So all I'm doing, I'm saying when somebody comes to the URL, to the root URL, using a GET request, tell them this salam word. So, of course, for this to happen, I have to restart my server for this change to take place. And then I'll go and refresh this, and I get the salam. Can you see it there? So, all I'm doing on the server side, I mapped a HTTP request, a GET request to URL root to a function call. So when somebody comes to, let me change it. I don't like this one. I want to make it here when you ask me to greet. When you come to a URL called greeting, let's say greeting, then I want you to say this salam to me. But now the server does not understand this.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's change it to make it understand. So only say this salam if somebody comes to /greeting. So now let me stop this, restart it basically, come back. If I refresh this, I will get this salam. So all I'm doing on the server side, I am listening on a particular port that I choose. You choose the port. It's a number basically. Put a number on which you will listen, and then start responding to requests. These requests could be either GET or POST, coming to certain URLs. Once the request comes, you get given two objects. One is called request, and the other one is called response. And what do you use this object for? Either to read some data coming with the request, or to use the response to send back the reply. Is clear so far? Okay. Now, yes, some question? Yes. Oh, sorry.
Usually in websites, do they add the HTML file in the GET or to get the
Yes. Here, now, how do you respond? Your imagination now is the limit. There is no limit. You can do whatever. Go to the database and generate something and send it back. Do some computation and get the result and send it back. Now here, that's all there is to creating a web application. All you need is understand this. Now inside here, you do whatever. You might read a file from the system and send it back.
No, I mean the HTML file to open the interface for the user. Do they add it to the GET?
Okay, we will come to that. Usually it is a file that you send the file to the server side. Okay, so if you want, we can do that quickly. So if somebody, now greeting, we've done greeting. Now let's do, if somebody comes to /, which is the root. Instead of sending them this greeting, I'll send them a file. Send the file, and the name of the file is basically, I have one of the files here. It's called index.html. Index.html. Okay. Now for this to work, let me try it. But it will not work. I need to do one more step. So I restarted my server. My greeting is still working. Now if I go to the root, it works. Oh, it's very good. So I was expecting one more step to do, but it's fine. It worked. So what it's doing here, all I did, I asked for the root URL. I did /. And then basically it came and sent me this. But maybe this is not correct. Let me try this one, hero. Okay. So let me restart the server. No, this is not correct. Let me just run this. Here, oh, that's good. All right, no, that's good. All right, so this one is working. Let's just stay in index. Is clear? So I have a file. Here is the file called index.html, which has some form. It asks for, what does it ask for? Ah, yes, it's saying here, yes, who you are, and it asks me which page I want to go to. So there's a little form here, and you see, now this form, when I submit it to the server, it will be sent to the server using which HTTP verb? Post. And it will go back to which URL? Slash. Yes? So, what I will do here, now I want to handle the post request this time. So if I come here and basically go to this one and no, I need to restart the server. Sorry, I will just restart this. Whenever you change the server, you have to restart it to pick up the new implementation. Okay, I refresh this, and basically I will say here, submit. It will not work. It says what it's saying, cannot post. What does it mean?
We have to define post.
Yeah, we have to define how the server should handle the post. Again, it's very simple. Let's go back there. And then I will go to my app, and I will say app. When somebody comes to you using a post request, and they requested this URL, this is what I want you to do. Give them a request and give them a response, objects for them to use. And then, basically, if you want to read what's coming with the request, you can do so by doing request.body. You know, the request has two parts. There is the headers and the body. If you remember in that file, in that HTTP Fox I showed you, there is a header that shows get, in our case, post slash, and then there is a new empty line, and there is the body of the request, which has the actual data, name, value, pair. In our case, we will get a username, sorry, what do we will get? The user and what page they want to go to, if you remember. Okay, now to get to this body of the request, I basically need one extra library to help me do this. One extra library that will receive the request body and put it for me in this property called body. Okay. So now Express, instead of putting all the functionality in it, there is the concept of modularity. You don't put everything in one library. You put the basics in this library, and you add extra if people need to. So the next library that we will be using, let me just copy it from here because of the time. It's called the body parser, and I will explain what it means. So here is the body parser library. And basically, I will come here and say, don't worry, at this stage it's mine, but okay. So in here, I am coming to my Express application and say, whenever you receive a request, go to the body of the request, read what has been coming through the request, and put it for me in this property called body. Okay. So let's see what's in there. So if I just do here console.log, okay. So let me just restart this guy. Go back to my form, and basically I will submit this. And you can see here, this is what I received. This is what I received from the browser. I received an object with username Iradi, and requested page is a student. Who created this object for me and put it in this body? This library called the body parser. Now, the client is still waiting for me to send something, so I'll just send them back whatever they have gave me. So this is like kind of بضاعتنا ردت إلينا. That's it. No change, as it is. So whatever you send me, I'll give it back to you. So I restart this server, go back, and you can see here, let me just show you. I submit this. Whatever you gave me, I'll give it back to you. But in reality, I will use this, go to the database, maybe give you your schedule, and send you back your schedule here. Or whatever you have requested, I will do it and give it back to you. Now, let me just one thing, and that's it, I'll let you go. You have full application here. What you can do, remember, we have been working on some classes to read from files, if you remember, reading students, reading their courses. All you need to do, import that code into your app application. And then, let's say somebody is asking you for get me all the students. All you do, get the list of students and send it back to them. And before you send it, don't use send, use JSON. What this use JSON means, when you request, when you get the list, you convert it to JSON and you give back those JSON.
Yeah, we had this in the homework. Right?
Sorry?
We had this in the homework research. What does return JSON object means?
Yes. So let me.
Return JSON object?
Now basically it serializes. You remember serializes object to JSON. So let me show you. I will just run this one. Stop and run. Okay, very quick. I will not take much time. Let you go. So if I say here /API/students, I get the list of students in JSON format. This is what JSON means. It is an array. Remember, an array is a square brackets, and the objects are curly braces. And the properties is a name, colon, value, comma, name, colon, value. So this JSON format is a standard format how applications communicate with each other. So on a mobile application, when you are using, for example, Facebook, when you get your messages, those messages come in this format, most likely. So the JSON format is really the format heavily used on the web. So HTML is used for human interface, while JSON is used to provide data for other applications. So this is the basic idea. So in the lab, you will start working on this, and next time, inshallah, we'll go into much more details. The basic idea. Thank you.